Hello everyone and welcome back to the Corsace Open 2022. We are here with our first matchup of the semi-finals weekend, and I am happy to bring you what is sure to be a pretty solid matchup between two very good teams. We're down to the top 12, and one of these two top 12 teams will be going home in this losers bracket matchup between SOBBLE and RAMSING. My name is Dio. I'm happy to be casting here alongside iFlame. Hello, iFlame.
Hello. How's your day going?
Fairly solid so far. I'm hopefully getting treated to a pretty solid matchup. We have SOBBLE on the red side here, RAMSING on blue side. SOBBLE with Captain Eddie, and I'm a Fancy Mad, also known as Ryuke. The Blue James, Kingling, Woofle, Vesprit, the Pro 365, and Polly. RAMSING with Gamer 228666. Pirjoska, I don't know how to pronounce that name. I believe that is a name change as well. From Gnahus, actually, is the name change. Red Pixel, Justman, Mistia, Corian Maluko, Cut Paper, and Gonza. These seeds were initially seed number 5 and 6, so seeing them facing off here in the losers bracket means that one of those teams is unfortunately going to underperform their seeding a little bit. Would have been expected to make it into the finals weekend based on their qualifier seeding. So this is sure to be a pretty good matchup. Both of these teams have a really high skill cap, a lot of very, very good players on both of these teams, a lot of recognizable names, and some star performers for both of them. And to boot, one thing that's really interesting about this match up is when you look back and forth at the stats for both of these teams, you actually see a lot of really similar stats and really similar skill sets, and I think that speaks to how well-rounded both of these teams have been and how good the players are on both teams.
Yeah, and it's going to mean a lot of these maps could go either way, and so both of these teams going to be looking to abuse certain skill sets. SOBBLE, slight edge on the speed pick is the one notable one, whereas RAMSING, the pick's a lot less clear, but we are going to be getting right into the protects now. SOBBLE, I imagine, to protect the speed pick here.
Definitely something they could look to do. They have a little bit of an on-paper advantage on speed for sure, but looking at the rosters as well, you would be hard-pressed to want to pick speed in the semifinals weekend into Red Pixel, who is just straight up one of the best speed players that there is. But if you're assuming that Ryuke can match on the side of SOBBLE, then I think it gets a lot better for you. Still a tricky pick regardless, though. I feel like a lot of these protects for these two teams will come down to comfort a lot of times, just because both of these teams, again, very similar skill sets. There is that slight on-paper advantage for speed for SOBBLE, but it's probably not dominating the advantage, right? They still have a lot of really solid players in other respects, and they're actually going to protect the hidden 2 rather than going for a speed protect. A lot of very good hidden reading players on the side of SOBBLE. Players like the Blue James, players like Woofle and the Pro and Vesprit, all very good reading players, so I think they'll have a relatively good time of that map, whereas I think some of the reading players for RAMSING not necessarily incredible on the scaling, which is weird to say because you look at the on-paper stats and say, oh, well, RAMSING actually has the advantage on reading, but I think that as we scale later and later, you're going to find the reading players to really start to break out and put up stellar performances on your hidden 2s, your no-mod 6s, things like that. So I do like the protect from SOBBLE in spite of the on-paper advantage on reading for RAMSING.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I do think as you go later and later into the tournament, the hidden 2s tend to get a lot harder, and so your kind of star rating players can stand out, and the gap tends to get a little bit bigger between your super strong low AR players versus those that don't play it nearly as often. We are going to get the DT2 ban follow-up, as well as a no-mod 2 protect out of RAMSING, and no-mod 6 banned from RAMSING now. Another thing that's interesting here is so far throughout this tournament, we have seen SOBBLE tend to favor the hidden picks. Aside from just the HD2, they have looked fairly strong on hidden, whereas RAMSING has looked a little bit stronger than SOBBLE, I'd say, on some of these more hard rock focused picks. we'll have to see how that plays out in this match.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how the first pick shapes up. It's actually gonna be a Hard Rock 3 first pick for RAMSING. So no double time 3 or no mod 5 first pick for them after the ban on speed and the protect on no mod 2, which is a little interesting. Usually you would see them try and pick into something similar, but I think both of these teams may be a little bit wary of the speed, as we have pointed out. Very similarly solid speed rosters for both of them. Hard Rock 3 instead going to be the pick here now, and this map is really just tech Hard Rock. There's not a lot else to say about it. You have a lot of really tricky stream shapes, XL, DCL streams, cut streams through this map, and a lot of really high velocity sliders to boot. So this is going to be a pick where both teams need to put in their best control players, their best tech players, and have a really solid 4-person roster. I think on a map like this, if you have a 4th player who is really lacking in either the tech skill or Hard Rock comfort, you're going to have to kind of carry that weight a little bit. So really looking for SOBBLE in particular to put up a 4-player roster that works on a map like this. They have quite a lot of good tech players and quite a lot of good Hard Rock players, but we'll see whether they can put those two together and put up a solid score against RAMSING, with this being their first pick.
Yeah, this map as well is going to be a little bit more aim control focus as opposed to your typical slider tech, and so with the Hard Rock, the aim becomes even more precise. Makes it even easier to just find random misses on various patterns, and should be getting into the map very shortly here. And here we go. First 8 players of the match for the side of SOBBLE: Vesprit, Kingling, Pole, and LeBlue. On the side of RAMSING, Red Pixel, Justman, Gamer, and Korean Maluko. Each of these 4 players looking to win the first point. Of course, it is RAMSING's pick, but they do not want to lose this one. Here we go into Hard Rock 3.
This is a very good roster for RAMSING on this kind of map. Justman and Korean Maluko, both very, very good Hard Rock players and very good Hard Rock tech players. From the West, Justman from France and Korean Maluko from Brazil. Red Pixel and Gamer, both Russian, and very, very, very good Hard Rock tech players as well. Red Pixel usually known for the speed, but also a really solid Hard Rock player. It seems they've heard me in the background talking about them, because they both decided to miss a little early on here for Justman and Red Pixel, but hopefully won't impact the outcome of the map too much. You do still have a very good roster on this map for SOBBLE as well. Kingling, Vesprit in particular, extremely good Hard Rock tech players, and Pole is somebody from the rank restricted tournament scene who has really started to come out in full force recently in open rank. Another break is traded between Justman and Kingling. Vesprit is going to break as well. Now Pole finding the drop right afterwards, and it's only LeBlue James holding on to what is a reverse choke for SOBBLE at the moment. Gamer is going to drop the miss, as well as Red Pixel once again for the side of RAMSING. There's a 1v1 between Korean Maluko and LeBlue James at the moment, both of them with the only combos left, but you can see accuracy advantage and overall combo advantage on the side of RAMSING, and Justman may be a little bit disappointed in his performance here during the first map.
Yeah, understandably so, but RAMSING so far is looking good to take the point as long as Korean Maluko can hold. They're going to be looking very strong, have the recovery combos as well for Red Pixel, being matched by Pole, and it really is just going to come down to these 2 FCs into the last hard section. If we see a lot of misses, there's time, but there goes Blue. And as Korean holds into the end of the map, should just be a point for RAMSING here. Korean going to be looking to secure the FC.
Accuracy for Korean Maluko as well, still above the 97% mark with the FC. Have a couple of people matching the accuracy up there above 97, but they both drop. Pole and Red Pixel drop below 97. It's Korean Maluko to finish out the FC on the first pick for RAMSING. This is a player, Korean Maluko, who has been a bit criminally underrated over the last I would say 2 years, and has really started pushing himself into the spotlight within, the last year or so as one of the best tournament players out of Brazil. And for good reason, still being able to put up consistently high scores into the semifinals and finals of many open rank tournaments, just not quite able to get onto the types of super teams that end up winning them, but always a star player for the teams he is on, and out in full force during the first pick.
It has been such a strong player for RAMSING so far in this tournament. Just put up so many incredible scores so far. Looking to continue that trend in semifinals. SOBBLE does have the pick now. Probably not a pick they were expecting to win, so not going to feel too bad about this one. And this is where it's possible that we do see them go for one of these other hidden maps. I wouldn't touch the Protect just yet. There's no need for that. Possibly the Hidden 1 or the Hidden 3 are both options.
Yeah. In spite of the FC from Cory Maluka, that was still a relatively close map for SOBBLE. So I think they can feel comfortable getting into something like the Hidden 1 that is a little bit more tech-focused than you would usually expect from the Hidden 1s out of a quote-unquote typical tournament map pool, right? Similarly for the Hidden 3, I think they can feel a little bit more comfortable picking into something like that, given how close the previous map was. But we do get the pick out of them here. It's going to be Fremod 3. Actually, not one of the hidden picks, but it will force some players to go hidden. Greedy Greedy by Kuromi. This is the low BPM, low approach rate, high circle size pick in Fremod. Actually, very, very high star rating for a CS5 AR8 pick in Fremod. 6.44 stars and well over 7.5 with Hard Rock. So this is going to be an interesting first pick for SOBBLE for sure. I think they have some really, really good precision players in the likes of Kingling and some very good reading players with Hidden to take advantage of both the Nomad and Hidden scores on this map. So, we talked about, especially on the Hidden 2, how good their reading roster is. So I think this pick actually works out pretty well for them.
Does, and I think this pick makes a lot of sense after the HD2 Protect. Just going for that other low AR map in the pool, we do see this very frequently where one team will go for both the low AR hidden map and the low AR free mod. Because for the most part, that's all the low AR you're going to get in the pool. And so teams will abuse that as much as they can. And if they can win the Fremod 3 here, they're going to feel very good about the HD2. But like you mentioned, just such a strong reading lineup that they're going to be looking pretty good, and this is one of those maps that we do occasionally see easy on. So I'm curious if we see it here.
I don't know that this is the style of map where we're going to see anything besides the Nomad, the Hidden, and the Hard Rock either. I think players have the option to go easy, but I think they're, with no score multiplier on it, just going to take the Nomad and run with it.
Yeah, I don't think either team has any dedicated easy players. So we are going to be seeing an overmod from RAMSING. 2 Hard Rocks, Justman and Korean Maluko, Mistia on the Hidden, and an overmod from SOBBLE as well. Kingling and Polly on the Hard Rock, Vesprit on Hidden. And it's actually going to be Mistia and Eddie trading early misses. Gonna favor SOBBLE here, but Vesprit follows it up with a miss now. Still very early on, so not going to matter too much, and we are very early into this map. Korean now missing on the Hard Rock. Polly trades it back, and we are just seeing misses all over the place. Goes to show how hard this map is. Justman now only 2 players left holding.
Oh man, what was that wiggle stream too? Wow, misses out of Polly on the wiggle stream, which is understandable with the Hard Rock. The spacing on that is almost not cheesable. Yeah, this map has a lot of stuff going on. You have the alt aim control, you have speed portions. I don't know if those are 1/8 or 1/6, but still relatively long, speedy streams in this map. And another miss comes out of Kingling. I don't believe it's traded for the other team either. Mistia and Vesprit are going to trade misses, but it is just Eddie holding on for SOBBLE right now on the Nomad. There is a drop from Gamer, crucially, on the Nomad for RAMSING, but it's matched by Eddie, and this is just not the good first pick that SOBBLE was looking for. Down quite a lot of score at this point. Well, actually only about 60k somehow. Maybe the accuracy on some of the members looking pretty solid for them, but Justman has a really good combo on the hard rock, and I think this lead is going to start to get a little bit out of control with Quaria Maluko's combo as well, backing him up.
Yeah, and the players on the side of SOBBLE are just having such a hard time building up any combo. Eddie Vesper finding misses, and you can see their highest combo under 200 still, and Justman, Korean, both looking so good here into the ending. And there's just no way you can match the 500 combos. Kangling now finds a miss, and there's once again just no combo on SOBBLE. And as Vesper finds the miss, it's actually just a three-way miss out of SOBBLE. Mistia trades, but everybody gone now for SOBBLE. You kind of have to wonder about this first pick. I mean, nobody on the team getting about above 300k. Makes it really surprising that they feel comfortable enough to opt for this first pick. You would generally expect on a map like these that you have at least one player that can put up a good score, but it's just all around team struggle from SOBBLE, and it's going to be a break point for RAMSING. Up 2-0 now.
Yeah, definitely not the start that SOBBLE was looking for on that kind of map, and maybe leaning a little bit more into the reading players could have benefited them there. I think I was a little out of the reading maps in the COE 1v1 tournament, but that's the best roster they had, and unfortunately it wasn't enough to put up the win on foot a bit, but by no means out of it at this point. Still quite a lot of match left to go. This is a best of 11. So being down 2-0 at the start is not the worst thing in the world, but definitely not how they would have wanted to start out for SOBBLE.
No, certainly not the worst thing,
sure.
But
they had a lot of options here.
Yeah, Nomad 5 going to be a quick pick, and in these formats where you do have 2 picks and then a second ban phase, I feel like it really is so important to be winning the 2 picks before the first ban, because that is your chance to get your guaranteed wins out of the way. So mispicking early on here hurts especially badly for SOBBLE. Now going to have to play Nomad 5. Now this is going to be the 250 BPM speed pick, minute 55, so pretty short. I wouldn't say it's crazy stamina test intensive. It is just a test of raw speed. And as we talked about, SOBBLE has some very strong, notable speed players, of course, having Blue, Ryuke, Eddie even, but RAMSING, no slouches either. Having Red Pixel on a speed map, always a good sign. But the question for them is, do they have the roster to back it up afterwards? And RAMSING feels like they do. I imagine we're probably going to be seeing Korean in for this one. Probably Justman as well. And here we go, Nomad 5. This map is incredibly short, so every miss is going to matter, and we are going to be seeing Gonze, Red Pixel, Gamer Korean. Not going to be seeing Ryuke in for this one. A little bit surprising, not sure if they're even there. Kingling and Korean going to be trading early misses, but Eddie as well, and it's going to be such massive accuracy drops from the side of SOBBLE that RAMSING takes a very big early accuracy advantage. And look at Red Pixel on the 99. Vesper and Eddie, it's only Poly holding, and there's still 3 FCs on the side of RAMSING. It's so early into the map, but we talk about how short it is. We're already a quarter of the way through, and RAMSING's starting to run away with this one, especially Kingling, finding another miss. And it is just chain misses for Kingling, 80% accuracy. They just, 4th player syndrome for SOBBLE, Eddie dropping as well. And I believe Gamer traded it back for RAMSING, but only part of the way there. It's still 2 FCs, Red Pixel and Gonza versus Pale. And Pale doing their best, but it's not nearly going to be enough unless we see both of those players miss. Only half of the map to go, and Pale has so much work to do. It's certainly not possible, but they are so far behind. Vesper has recovered nicely, but unless we see the FCs drop, it doesn't matter. And there goes Gonza, but Vesper trades. And with Red Pixel still holding the 97, 500,000 point lead for RAMSING is going to look like a very decisive pick for them. And they're going to be up 3-0 here. And it really came down to just Kingling. 100,000 points, you cannot afford that at this stage of the tournament. And they just got 4th player syndrome pretty badly on this one. And what a dominant performance from RAMSING here.
I mean, more than anything, this speaks to missing players on the part of SOBBLE. You should not be putting in Kingling over Ryuke on a speed map at basically any point in a tournament. No shade to Kingling, of course, but that is not his specialty. And you have a speed specialist on your team in Ryuke, and I'm a fancy man. So the fact that he is not in for this map pretty clearly speaks to the fact that he's just not here. Because even sight read, I think that would have gone quite a bit better for him than it did for Kingling, unfortunately. And that just means free speed picks through the rest of this match for RAMSING. You know, the 2-0 start is not that bad if you could potentially take a break point back, but with that point given over now on No Mod 5 and a pretty clear win strategy for RAMSING, picking the speed and abusing that missing member for SOBBLE, I think this is a very, very good-looking match for RAMSING, and pretty dire straits already for SOBBLE. We'll see how well they can do on something like the No Mod 1. They have a lot of really good aim players in right now who are here and will be able to contribute to the win. So hopefully this map going quite a lot better. And this is a very comfortable No Mod 1. So Skyflame No Mod 1, lots of comfortable jumps, no real wide, awkward angles or anything like that, and a lot of just basic triples and quints. No long streams or super space streams in this map to throw off the typical jump aim player.
For sure, and Ryuke, obviously, not just a speed player either, would often be in for something like a No Mod 1, and just a very good overall player, and so missing Ryuke is going to hurt them a lot throughout the entire match, and not just on the speed picks, but they do feel like they have the lineup for No Mod 1. And I would not be surprised to see Kingling in for this one. No Mod 1, a little bit more in their wheelhouse than pure speed map.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're actually pretty likely to see a similar roster, having not seen Woofle in for the Fremont 3 pick, nor having seen the Pro in for either the Hard Rock 3 pick or the Fremont 3. I have a feeling that those two might be missing alongside Ryuke, so just a hunch, but I think we're likely to see a lot of the same players in for SOBBLE, which really does make this matchup pretty RAMSING-sided. You know, on paper, these teams are pretty close in their overall skill if you have all of the members there, but you know, very clearly Ryuke missing, and probably missing a couple of others who would have potentially been in on that Fremont 3 or Hard Rock 3 if they were there.
Yep, and you are right, lineup's pretty much the same. We are going to see Nas coming in. It's really the only lineup change here. And, well, not going to be a lot to say about this map starting out. It is just a very, very standard No Mod 1. You have your slow sections, you have your diff spikes. Don't miss on the diff spikes, and you'll be pretty good. And first diff spike, very early into the map, Poly and Red Pixel going to be trading misses. Shouldn't matter too much, that is kind of the best place to miss in the map if you're going to miss. Blue now going to be finding a miss, and as long as you don't miss, halfway through the map, you should be okay. And Red Pixel finds a miss, but so does Kingling and Pale. 3 FCs to 1 already. And because it's so early in the map, it's not the most concerning, but what's more concerning is the chain misses from these SOBBLE players. They need to build up some combo, it can't just be Eddie. RAMSING players are good enough to build up some really big combos on the map, and the support needs to be there for Eddie, but it is just misses again and again.
Blue also not looking his best at the moment. Usually a very, very good aim player, but just not having a good day. I don't know if it's setup issues or what, but you'd usually expect a lot more out of Blue on a No-Mod 1 like this. And the fact that one of the lower rated members on the team, Eddie, is having to carry the No-Mod 1 speaks volumes to how uncomfortable the rest of the roster is on this for SOBBLE. It's just not a position you want to find yourself in any team tournament. And unfortunately, I mean, Gnahus and Gamer still holding the full combo, Red Pixel on a good recovered combo. So really looking rough for SOBBLE at the moment. Close to 400,000 score down, closing in on that number pretty rapidly for RAMSING. And yeah, this is looking to be a quick 4-0 start for RAMSING, and I don't see any end in sight either, as they have a pretty clear path to victory with the protected No-Mod 2, DT3 still up, DT4, or DT1, excuse me, still available. After something like this No-Mod 1, you could even look into picking, Hard Rock 1 afterwards. There is a miss for Gamer and Red Pixel, but again, you talked about it, iFlame, LeBlue, Kingling finding all of these chain misses. And now the FC is gone for Eddie, so this is a already won map for RAMSING. 300,000 score up and climbing, with full combo still alive on Gnahus and recovered combo on Just Man to support.
Yeah, and it really puts into perspective how difficult it is for SOBBLE to find anything to pick with their missing players. I mean, going into this, obviously they know they only have one person who's comfortable on the map, and they felt that was their best option, so you can really see how much they're struggling to find a pick that works for them, and you have to be very worried for them. Going into the rest of the match, whereas RAMSING feels like they can put up at least decent scores on just about everything so far, especially Nas, still on the full combo. And this one feels like a little bit of a scheduling gap so far.
I don't even know if I would say scheduling gap. It is 3 p.m. for some of the
This is
players
true.
on the side of SOBBLE and about noon for others. So
Yeah, it's not like it's a terrible time for the missing players. They just couldn't show up for whatever reason.
yeah, bit unfortunate for SOBBLE in this case, as RAMSING just gonna honestly quite easily take another point off of them, up over 800,000 on this one, and not showing any signs of slowing down. FC for Gnahus 5x100 there, and you can see from the miscount, double digit on everybody for SOBBLE, single digit for everybody on RAMSING, of course excluding Gnahus with the full combo. So this is dominance in a nutshell here, and exactly what you expect if you have two teams who are relatively evenly matched going up against each other, but one of them is just missing a bunch of players, right? You're going to expect the other team to be able to take full advantage of that, especially because the 4 remaining players or 5 remaining players that they have, we have seen LeBlue James come in, so 5 remaining players for SOBBLE that we have seen don't necessarily all share the same skill sets, right? It's not like they can all go in on the same map and abuse a particular skill. It's oftentimes just a mishmash of whatever players happen to be available trying to throw together their best scores on something. So unfortunately, as we head into the second round of bans here, SOBBLE with quite a lot to ban out, and not a lot that RAMSING needs to ban out against them. They're going to choose for RAMSING side to ban out that hidden one, very bursty tech-focused hidden map. I think that's a really good ban after how close the Hard Rock 3 was, and the fact that we do have a protected hidden 2 for SOBBLE. I think a very smart ban, and probably the best map that SOBBLE has left in the pool outside of that hidden 2, now gone for them with the addition of that hidden 1 ban.
Yeah, and I think SOBBLE's ban here is a lot less clear. Like you mentioned, there's just so many things that RAMSING can pick. There's the Hard Rock 1, and there's the DT3 that you mentioned earlier, so it is just going to be that. And I expect we are just going to see both of the protected picks come out here. There is no reason not to see them. And so we should just be getting Nomad 2 next. And it does feel like on a lot of these maps, there's just a lot of pressure on a singular member of SOBBLE to put up that carry performance, but just not really something you can do against a team like RAMSING, where they have multiple players on every single map that can put up very impressive scores. Now this Nomad... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's about time to bring up the protected pick for RAMSING at this point. That Nomad 2, mapped by Mazarin, 200 BPM, long streams, really tricky, hard corners on a lot of these streams as well. So kind of the Mazarin special with this sort of map, and something that a lot of these players on the side of RAMSING are going to be very, very good on. You have a lot of really good stamina players and a lot of really good flow aim players on this team. People like Red Pixar and Gamer probably going to be in for this one. Could potentially see somebody like Gonza going in for this, but kind of a lot of players on the side of RAMSING who could go in here. Mistia and Aquarium Maluko as well, solid picks for it. I don't know that we see Justman go in for something like this, but he does have the flow aim for a map like this if they do have somebody who feels uncomfortable with that aspect of the map.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just ready for the Red Pixel SS. I'm ready to set another 700 match.
Yeah, I was going to say, Red Pixel has been popping off this match. Definitely two players to look out for on this one. Probably going to be Red Pixel and Korean on the side of RAMSING. On the side of SOBBLE, we'll just hope that somebody can put up a score on it, because we already have 2 misses on their side. Blue has just been chain missing at the start of the map. And it's only Polly and Eddie, and there goes Eddie. Polly last FC on the side of SOBBLE. And it's so early, but just the accuracies, the amount of misses this early on is so concerning for SOBBLE.
Yeah, Vesper as well, usually a pretty solid Nomad 2 player. Very good flow aim player and very good stream stamina player most of the time. So very surprising to see him with a lot of early misses. You gotta hope for a good recovery from Vesper on a map like this to help support the score from Polly. But I mean, look at the comfort for RAMSING's roster on this map. You can see exactly why they protected it. We do see a couple misses, though, come out during the second KI time for Gamer and Red Pixel, both of them trading some misses away. And Eddie actually on a very good recovered score. Vesper is going to drop the combo, but Justman is going to match, and that's a trade that does favor SOBBLE, but that one is not. Polly and Eddie both drop now, as Corey and Maluko remains uncontested alone with the FC for RAMSING now. No combos at all for SOBBLE, and Corey Maluko still just crushing it. To be expected from somebody like him, who has really started to distinguish himself as one of the best, most well-rounded tournament players that there is. Such a good player.
Yeah, when you look at the roster, usually it's players like Red Pixel who'd expect to be popping off on the Nomad 2s, but it is Curry and Maluko right there, looking to hold the FC still. Obviously, we do have half of the map to go, and ending is pretty tricky. So we'll see if they can hold, but score lead, once again, absolutely massive, 500k here. I don't know that there's any world where SOBBLE comes back. Vesprit, never mind. Vesprit's not even holding the combo anymore. And Korean did find a miss, but they have done more than enough, I think, to close this one out.
Unfortunately, no FC for Corey Maluko. We do have Red Pixel accuracy to track, though. 99.7 still for Red Pixel on this map. Pretty much 0 chain misses allowed at that point with that kind of accuracy on a map like this, despite no FC. Still rocking what would be incredible act for any full combo to have. Oh, finally a chain miss comes through. So no 99.7, but yeah, this is 5-0 in style for RAMSING. Not much more to say. They are up 900,000 score by the end of it, just about. And, well, SOBBLE backs against the wall. They better break out that protected pick, because this is the only chance they're going to get at it, probably. Down 5-0, match point against a RAMSING roster that has looked very, very well put together versus this SOBBLE roster who, missing some players, not able to put in the right people for the right jobs, now do end up going towards that Hidden 2, the low approach rate reading map in Hidden, mapped by CaliCube. A little bit finger control, a little bit low BPM, a little bit of flow aim in something like this, and all comes together to be very, very difficult to read with that low approach rate and with Hidden.
Yeah, this one has quite a bit of a rhythm focus to it as well. But SOBBLE don't really have much choice of the picks here. It was kind of HD2 or nothing. Even beyond the HD2, very tough to find a pick for them. But they are going to be looking to get at least 1 point in this match. Take 1 point, get some momentum, start taking some more points. And all of a sudden, we're in tiebreaker.
We'll see if they're able to pull it off.
Yeah, I might be a little bit hopeful, but
I have confirmation that the pro is now at least alive. He is potentially able to play. We'll see if they actually end up putting him in for anything. But maybe he will be able to play something if they are able to win this Hidden 2 pick. So potentially a 6th member now awake and ready to go for SOBBLE.
Yes, unfortunately, awake and ready to go does not mean warm, so probably not going to be seeing them for the Hidden 2. Probably going to need at least a few minutes to warm up, but if they can make it through the Hidden 2, then hopefully we can see the pro in for some of the future maps here.
All right, going into a 2L Hidden 2 right now. Yeah, I'm looking at players like Vesprit and LeBlue James to do well on a map like this. I think those are going to be the best reading players for SOBBLE on this map. You can already see more than a few misses coming out for Eddie. The awkward aim earlier on in the map, not really treating him kindly. Blue, Mistia, Vesprit, Eddie, Kingling, Red Pixel, and Mistia all finding drops. Ganahu's gonna drop right afterwards, and it is only Gamer now holding on to the FC after everybody misses on the intro. Red Pixel with a good supporting combo as well, but I mean, yeah, these patterns look really easy because you're not playing them. But if you actually go into the map and play these sorts of patterns, you will find them incredibly difficult to FC. The fact that Gamer is actually still holding on is frankly insane. This is such a hard map to do with that AR8 hidden.
Oh, it's absolutely brutal. I mean, keep in mind, these are some of the best tournament players out there, and they're having a very tough time with it. Vesprit has obviously recovered a little bit, but so has Mistia, and they don't really have anyone to match Gamer right now, who's just unstoppable. Finally finds a miss, but so does everybody on the side of SOBBLE. And
it's just in the lobby.
Yeah, it's just going to be an 8-way miss, and that's really going to favor RAMSING because SOBBLE has no combo to start to build a comeback with. Quarter of the map to go, down 300,000, and this might just be the end of SOBBLE's tournament run here.
The one thing they do have going for them is higher average scores on Vesprit and LeBlue James, but Blue is only able to match the score out of Mistia, and the rest of that score difference coming from Nahus and Red Pixel, way outperforming Kingling and Eddie at the moment. Just not comfortable at all in the pick, and there's just no time left for Vesprit or LeBlue James to try and bring this back. That is going to be 6-0 in this map, off the back of both a more consistent team performance from RAMSING and that pop-off 400k from Gamer. The next highest score in the lobby, Vesprit, right? That's 374k, but beyond that, everybody in the 200k range for this map. So really, two players able to pop off on it. Vesprit with a far lower miscount and more consistent performance, but RAMSING overall as a team showing up today and able to win out 6-0 in this matchup. No troubles at all against a SOBBLE roster, which was missing some players and just did not have a good time of the matchup. Unfortunately for them, they will be dropping out of the tournament, and the 5th seed RAMSING advances into the top 8 in the losers bracket semifinals.
Yep, SOBBLE, of course, very strong team, took the 3rd seed to tiebreaker, but unfortunately missing their star players was just too much to overcome, and RAMSING, like you mentioned, moves on. They are going to be playing the winner of 14 UTC versus Osu TrueSkill, so going to be a tough matchup for them either way. that being said, this is our only match for today, so that is going to be it for the stream. Next match will be tomorrow at 13 UTC. Stay tuned for that one. It's going to be Throwing Up versus Wide Pipo Happy, 2 incredible teams to watch. So, hope to see you guys back for that. With that being said, well played to both teams. Thank you, Dio, for commentating with me. Thank you guys all for watching, and have a good night.